welcome you to Toyota Arena in Ontario, California for a presentation of the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Tonight, the Empire Strykers open up their home campaign against their Southern California rivals, the San Diego Sockers. Good evening, everybody. My name's Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, alongside my broadcast partner, Artie Kyrell. The SoCal Showdown takes center place in the MASL for the 58th time. This is a series that has been dominated by San Diego. But the Empire Strykers have done something 2 weeks ago that only one team has done since then, and that's win in San Diego, in addition, having their first victory to open up a season in 4 years.
Strykers changed tempo. They pushed 6 all last season. They alternated this year, causing some imbalances for San Diego on the overtime goal. Exciting goal from Brian Banger Orozco, just coming forward, caught him on the disorganized change. Game over.
Game over indeed, and obviously San Diego is going to come in with a chip on their shoulder, starting their season off with 2 losses. Now, head coach of the Empire Strykers, Onuo Obasi, the reigning coach of the year in the league, has rekindled and retooled and recalibrated his entire team. But of course, they're led by Mexican international and Olympic gold medalist Marco Fabian, Justin Stinson, anchored in the back by the captain, Robert Palmer, and of course, who can forget about the goalkeeping tandem of Brian Orozco and Brandon Gomez.
Spectacular efforts from both goalkeepers. There's just no account for them coming forward. Again, as stated earlier, Brian coming through, catching Soccer's 3 guys in the right channel, just flew forward, hit a blistering shot to the back post, and Nalami just nicks home. They've got to account for that tonight, or it's going to be a long night for San Diego. The
San Diego Sockers, 16-time champions of the indoor game, come in with their head coach, Phil Salvaggio, and they have a bevy of all-star talent, led offensively by Charlie Gonzalez, and of course their goalkeeping tandem of Boris Pardo, and now Chris Toth. But the player that we want to talk about in his 17th and final season playing the great game of indoor, Craig Childs, the man who deserves his own statue outside the arena, one of the greatest to ever play the indoor game.
What can you say about Craig? Just the consummate red wine player, got better with age. He knows exactly what to do, how to do it. He's a specialist. He's contributed to the team significantly through his career. It's going to be sad to see him go, but he's nobody to take light tonight. You put him on the right foot of his, and it's going to be trouble.
Dangerous player, so much talent on the field. Folks, the table has been set. We're going to step aside for a moment, and when we come back, we get down to business, the business of indoor soccer. It's the San Diego Sockers taking on the Empire Strykers. Kickoff in just a moment. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Philly, I'm joined by the coach, Artie Kyrell. This is the 58th edition of the Crosstown Showdown, the SoCal Showdown between the Sockers and the Empire Strykers. And we are beyond happy to be with you here tonight on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Artie, it's been 8 months, 19 days, finally back under the bright lights of Toyota Arena with you, my friend.
Great to be here, loving the seats. Great start to it.
And loving that start almost was Nick Pereira. Nick Pereira, the Iberian brick house, makes his return to San Diego, a place in which he grew up in, starting for the San Diego Sockers. There's such a bevy of all-stars on this Sockers team. It's really hard to pick one incredible player, but when you look on the turf, you see Nick Pereira, normally accustomed to him wearing a Tacoma Stars jersey, and Chris Toth in between the sticks for San Diego, either a member of Empire or obviously the Tacoma Stars. So many talented players on the Sockers. It's insane that they've begun the season with 2 losses.
It's crazy, but you know, Coach Salvaggio at the halftime of the Milwaukee game, said his guys got to wake up. And I'll tell you what, maybe they did in Milwaukee, but they're coming out pretty strong right now, moving the ball much crisper, quicker, and had 2 great chances already in this quarter.
Couple great chances already. You would expect Empire to dominate possession. Craig Childs almost a Wallace scorer attempt. Craig Childs in his 17th and what's going to be final season playing professional indoor. And there's a stoppage on the turf. See if we can check that replay again. There was a Wallace Scora attempt, banging off the wall. There we see some contact. Just trying to determine who that was. There we see Craig Childs banging it off the wall. Still can't quite tell from our perspective, but immediately San Diego Soccer trainer Paul Savage on the turf. We joked with him in the tunnel prior to the game starting that he's become the most famous trainer in the Major Arena Soccer League for the amount of times we've had to call his name, but we certainly didn't anticipate his name being called this early into the matchup.
Looks like Mendez. Is that Mendez down there? You got that little push, when you're going to finish like that, you're just putting everything in your balance on the finish, and that little nudge can push you right into the wall.
See the starting lineup for the Empire Strykers to open up the game. The Strikers are utilizing their exceptionally talented goalkeeper Brian Orozco in the game. Brian Orozco, who featured with West Ham United in the TST tournament. There we see the starting lineup for the San Diego Sockers. Boris Pardo not in between the sticks for San Diego. It is Chris Toth. And it's important to note the fact that Chris Toth normally would wear the number 31. Of course, San Diego Soccer's defender, Mitchell Cardenas, wears that number, but Chris Toth is wearing the number that his father famously wore as a member of this historic franchise, normally up in the rafters. And so reactivated is that number. Chris Toth comes back to the Southern California area wearing his dad's number as that ball goes well into the stands. For those that are tuning into this beautiful sport called indoor soccer, they can't keep the ball. The ball's, of course, sponsored by Mitre. Not a game day possession, not a game day article that they could take home with them. But nonetheless, we shout out the fans that are in the stands right now for being able to bring back that Mitre ball into play.
I like the initial thought of this fan to want to keep the ball and run up the stands with it.
You would think there's an opportunity as Chris Toth quickly gets a hand on it. That was a shot struck in by Isak Somo, formerly of Utica City FC. He's a member of the Empire Strykers last season, albeit didn't get much playing time due to injury. He, as well as his brother Ali, are a part of the Strykers crew this season. Love to see what Somo adds to the firepower that the reigning coach of the MASL, Onu Abasi, has. There we see Brian Orozco evading Tavoy Morgan, gets it into Polo Hernandez.
That was a very ambitious endeavor by banger Brian Orozco right there.
Now, Tavoy Morgan's shot coming off the chest piece of Brian Orozco. He's trying to stick with it, broken up. Steven Chavez, formerly of the Texas Outlaws, clears up that play. Now, for Sockers fans that are out there, your eyes are not deceiving you. Number 80, Luis Morales, back into the lineup. We were told by Craig Elston on the first 2 San Diego broadcasts that Morales did not make it to training camp or to practices, but as you can see, as vivid and as clear as day, he is back in the lineup. And all things considered, with the fact that the Sockers have lost their first 2 games of the season, Morales is an important piece. He adds a lot of firepower to Phil Salvaggio's crew.
Indeed, very good feet, very dynamic player, looks to go to goal. It's going to make a big difference in the way they play today for sure, along with Leo.
Leo de Oliveira, one of the pass masters in this league. Pass master is a designation, as at that attempt by Charlie Gonzalez just comes to the right of the post. Designation given to the player with the most assists in a season. Nick Pereira kicks it up top to Cesar Cerda. Pacheco making his return back into the Inland Empire. Jesus Pacheco tried out as a 17-year-old for the once named Ontario Fury. Has made one heck of a career for himself. Shot attempt by Dyerson Gratterall, one of the newest additions to Anu Obasi's staff. Has a shot fired, but stopped by one of the greatest keepers you'll see in the sport of indoor soccer, Chris Toth. Now coming right out of the gates is San Diego. Alan Perez over off the wall in, looking for Dyerson Gratterall. Ball comes back over to Toth, connecting with Craig Childs. Childs on the Mount Rushmore of players that have competed in the sport. The all-time leading scorer in San Diego Soccer's franchise history.
This is where he's dangerous.
Ball comes off of the boards. For those joining us for the first time, yes, you are watching the Major Arena Soccer League as that attempt comes off of Berto Palmer. Sebastian Mendez, formerly of the Texas Outlaws, member of the United States men's national futsal team, had a crack at it, but getting past Berto Palmer, not an easy feat as he draws the foul right on center turf, right to the surprise and chagrin of Mendez. Justin Stinson sporting the blue hair. Can't miss him from even our perch. Stinson was about a goal shy of tying Jorge Rios, last season's Golden Boot winner of the Chihuahua Savage. Andy Reyes of the Empire Strykers draws a foul, but Justin Stinson, keep an eye on number 10.
Yeah, I spoke to him earlier. You know, he was a little nicked up last game, warmed up, and his leg kind of locked up a little, so he wasn't at full strength, but he says it feels great tonight. So, yes, indeed, the blue-haired boy is going to do something special in his mind, so let's see what happens. Shared some memories before the game, so he's got some good juju going.
He did say he was going to do something incredible with his hair. He wasn't kidding. Leo de Oliveira looking to get past his teammate, a former teammate, and that Andy Reyes. Leo de Oliveira, once featured for this franchise, the Empire Strykers, formerly known as the Ontario Fury. In case you hear me mention those teams' names a couple times, they're one and the same. Stinson leading a 3-on-2 attack for the Empire. Goes over to his left side. Marco Fabian as an attempt off of the wall. Stinson with a clear shot. Bangs it off the plexi. Strykers trying to pick up a little bit of sauce here with under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
That was very good sequence, very, very patient from Justin. And, of course, gave it to a player who can hit it very well, which he did.
Marco Fabian, legendary player, played in several World Cups for Mexico. Won a trophy in the Bundesliga, the Pokal for Eintracht Frankfurt. Played in MLS with the Philadelphia Union, Mazatlan in Liga MX. Just one heck of an international career, and even though he's in his third season, he'll be the first to tell you that he's still trying to figure out the indoor game as his pass goes in to newly acquired Dallas sidekick Ant Powell. Marco Fabian in his first season for the Empire Strykers, along with Zach Rega of the Kansas City Comets, led the league in scoring. He regressed a little bit, but started contributing more to his teammates. Still good enough to earn an MASL second team nod, but Marco Fabian, one of the greats to play this sport.
Just look at his quality just prevails every single time. The roll of the ball off his foot is the strongest indicator of how quality the technique is, and he's just so clean. His strikes are pure. Not only is just great for the team as a player, but just imagine what it's like for the young squad of the Strykers to see this man work every day and focus on that technique.
Speaking of strikes, Robert Palmer, captain of the Empire Strykers, blasted one that got deflected into the netting. That's going to be a drop ball outside of the yellow line. Palmer, one of the best defenders you will see in the sport. In that first matchup 2 weeks ago down in Oceanside, he absolutely held down San Diego Soccer's star target forward, Tavoy Morgan. But most impressively, last season, Berto Palmer had 21 assists. That was good for second in the league. Lays it off to Steven Chavez. That comes off of the wall. Back over to Somo. Somo trying to get by Pacheco. Banks it off the wall. Mansoure with a header. Mansoure battling with Cardenas in the corner. Shot goes into the netting. And it's going to be a restart for the Sockers. And folks, with that being the case, 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We're going to head to immediate timeout, but stick around. Both these teams are testing each other very violently here in this first quarter. Stick around. You are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports, Golazo Network.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. MASL Plus, the lights are bright and fans are loud. It's a away team. In this case, the San Diego Sockers taking on the Empire Strykers. Stream it live on MASL Plus TV and replay the game on demand. Clip it, share it, live it again. Make sure to favorite your team to get instant updates on every game. Folks like Ron Burgundy, I'm just reading what I see off the teleprompter. So if it sounded odd, I looked at it in an odd fashion. About 7 minutes and 31 seconds remaining here in the first quarter between the Sockers and the Strykers. This is always going to be a hotly contested game, despite the fact that this is a series that's gone wildly in favor of San Diego. 47 wins to 10 losses. Empire's starting to pick up a little steam, and that win down in San Diego just a couple of weeks ago was really impressive. The Strykers have not won an opening game to start a season in 4 years, Artie.
Yeah, it's been a tough hurdle to get over. I mean, they always seem to catch San Diego on the opening game, so it's always a difficult challenge, especially there. But they came up with a great game plan. The change of the tempo, I thought, was well designed and proved itself to be the fact at the end of the day when Brian came pushing forward and caught them on the edge.
But of course, that was then and this is now. The Sockers should never be counted out despite losing 2 games. Even if you go back to the season 2021, where they finished the regular season in 5th place, they still ended up winning the Ron Newman Cup trophy.
That's
so
right.
This is a team that's so devastating, so deadly, you can never count them out, as there they are once again on the attack.
Count them out. You haven't been around the game. They just have too much quality, and they have too much character as far as the desire to win, and Phil's a slave driver as far as wanting to win, and he does. So, you know, they're always going to compete. You saw they've changed the game. They've changed the rhythm of the game already from last time. Strikers aren't able to press as much, but what a battle of wits right now.
Speaking of wits, one of the most cerebral players in the game, you see Nick Pereira. You're looking at Nick Pereira in one sense, then you see Craig Childs down on the field. It's just the think tank, the intellectual capital that San Diego has is just unbelievable. The Empire Strykers are a young team, but a very talented and hungry team, led by a cerebral coach within his own right, Onu Obasi, who last season won the MASL's Coach of the Year award.
I mean, a great thing for a coach is to adapt and move on, and you can, you know, from Obasi's earlier interview, you could hear him talking about how he's got to evolve. So it's only good news going forward for the Strykers because they've got a coach who puts in the time to work on what's got to go, or how things have to go.
Walter Diaz breaking it out of the danger zone for the Empire Strykers, almost connecting with Munir Alami over to Isak Somo. Walter Diaz, a player that has started to make an impact on this Empire Strykers team, is Ciro de Oliveira getting by Leo de Oliveira. Walter Diaz competed with the Cuban national futsal team as he connects with Ciro out of Brazil. Back over to Brian Orozco. in Dyerson Gratterall, who featured with 10-15 at the TST. Munir Alami's attempt, kick save by Chris Toth. Stinson with a shot just above the crossbar and into the net. That's going to be a goalkeeper restart. But you'll love the sequence, the ball movement by Empire, spreading the defense that San Diego is throwing their way.
Just getting to the spots, attacking with 3. They knew exactly where to look. I think Justin just saw that goal and just over, under-rotated on the hip, and off she flies. But he'll get that back.
Stinson, a hungry player, 2 points shy of becoming the number 2 player for this franchise. Attempt by Morales, the header off the post.
What a great save by Orozco. Just that foot extension.
And there's a challenge flag thrown onto the turf by San Diego. Head coach Phil Salvaggio saw something that he didn't like. Now, folks, for those unaware, a challenge flag can get thrown, and there's a yellow card being issued. If a challenge flag gets thrown onto the turf, the officials go back to review the monitor. If the challenge flag is awarded successfully, the team that threw the challenge keeps it. But if the challenge flag is thrown and the challenge is overthrown, they lose it for the duration of the game. That's really early for that challenge flag to get thrown out, Artie.
And if you throw it out overly vigorously, you're going to get a yellow. Yes, I've seen that from Phil's competitive environment or personality. I'm pretty sure he's calling it on the tug on Morales going forward. He had a chance to frame, maybe. He's trying to get that to prevail in his call. But you're right, he did throw that flag out earlier in the game last time, and it came back to bite him. So I think he's pretty safe on this one. I mean, I saw the pool. You'll see when Morales kind of goes dribbling diagonally. He twists him here. He gets in, and then the tug, right? That little tug, though, didn't allow him to unleash that left footer to tuck it in the near post. I saw him play that, make that shot early in the warm-ups today. So I think he likes that shot. So clearly it's a tug. And you can kind of see it throws off his stride.
Morales, the kind of player that knows how to find the back of the net. Look, in 66 games played in his career, he's already scored 89 goals. Was the newcomer of the year in the MASL just a couple of years ago. As the officials are back there reviewing the play on the booth. And speaking of the officials, Josh Wilkins, Servando Berna, Adrian Gonzalez, and Dan Sobieski are your officials tonight on the turf.
But just look at the quality. He gets thrown off his stride, gets it, pulls it back, and then he forces Brian Orozco to do his John Travolta impersonation with that save.
Talk about John Travolta. I'm watching that kick save that Orozco makes. I feel my groin splitting just watching it from way up here.
Hey, that was my air, Philly. I could do that on the dance floor, brother.
Back in '83 when you could throw a pigskin a quarter mile, right, Hardy? Shot a little Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, those were the days, my friend.
So just waiting on that confirmation as the official talking.
Hey, so that was a good, keeps it. It was the pull that we asked. So they got the foul, but no blue card.
So Sebastian Mendez in the bin of sins. And so the Strikers now have themselves a power play opportunity. Looking down on the turf for San Diego, they bring in, actually no, I stand corrected. I thought it was going to be a power play. So the blue card got thrown on to Mendez because obviously he was arguing from the bench.
No, Philly, it's a yellow. He's serving the yellow, I'm sure.
Okay, so
you don't lose a player on the yellow.
You're 100% right. I did see the blue card. We love to call it Smurf because there's so many things that are tiny and blue, a Smurf. But there's a dangerous and scary man on the ball right there as Craig Childs is about to fire it in to the right. Into Nick Pereira, shot, and a goal! Upper shelf to Leo Oliveira of San Diego, and they break through this 0-0 scoring drought. San Diego draws first blood.
Philly, we talked about it before the game. San Diego's just stacked with specialists. We mentioned Craig, we mentioned Nick. And look what they do with the ball. Just moving the ball, and Leo just kind of comes in. Just beautiful execution. You know it's coming. Did the push there on Morales to keep him, great defending from Reyes, but just didn't account for Leo coming across. You can't defend with your neck and eyes. You gotta get to the spots.
131st career goal for Leo de Oliveira. I mean, he's got multiple years playing in this league. This is his 8th season with San Diego. Top 4 in MASL history with assists, top 10 in points. and opens up the scoring line here for San Diego. 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Here we go, immediate change, pushing the 6, trying to dictate the tempo, take it away. San Diego kind of had much of the game.
And the Empire Strykers love to utilize the goalkeeper as that extra attacker, a system that was pioneered by the great Ron Newman back in the 80s, the glory days. People will argue that the 80s might have been the greatest decade ever. I wouldn't know. I was a kid. Artie, you could tell me more stories about that era, but that using that extra attacker has been very beneficial for the Empire Strykers. Last season, they had their second most goals as a team throughout the course of a season, utilizing that attack. Fabian open, strikes it through, bottom right corner, where the dust mites dwell. Marco Fabian draws the next shot for the Empire Strykers. We're tied, 1 apiece.
Just what a great response from the Strikers. You know, San Diego goes through and executes a perfect pattern to score a goal, and then Strikers come back with their own. You can kind of see here, Chris kind of comes out. Maybe a poor choice to come out and get that. Pacheco overcommits. Give that ball to Marco Fabian in that spot. He's going to put it in the back of the net more times than not.
3rd year in the league. Fabian won a gold medal with Mexico in the 2012 Olympic Games in London. Was a newcomer of the year, was Elite 6 his first year, was the Golden Boot winner in his first year as the header by Tavoy Morgan goes into the netting. Marco Fabian, 43 caps with Mexico. There's so many things we could say about him. Has just registered his 62nd career goal in the Major Arena Soccer League in what is the opening game here at Toyota Arena. He's hardly played that many games, but to have that many goals, so impressive.
Well, the greatest thing about it is passing unites a team. And you can kind of see that both teams are moving the ball quickly, so everybody's energized to move because everybody believes they have a chance to touch the ball. And there you just saw Marco just finishing the pattern and receiving it in rhythm to score.
Fabian's 2nd goal of the season, blasted one off of a free kick. Somo,
there it is.
Players down on the turf, play continues, Somo's shot, and that's going to come off of Cesar Cerda. But down on the turf for the Empire Strykers is Justin Stinson. There we see Tarjeta Azul, blue card on Leo de Oliveira. Smurf sighting in Smurf Village. Blue card for San Diego. Let's take a look at that replay again, Coach.
There it is. You kind of see, I think Leo thought he was fouled. Coming through here. Oh no, this isn't the replay here. So it comes back to him. Here it is. Feels he get obstructed there. He kind of tried to milk it, didn't get the call. Comes back, a little bit of emotion. I'll take you down. There it is. And then Justin kind of accentuating the fact to the official.
What you see on the screen, you can make your own inference, but the Strykers pull the keeper and they bring in Robert Palmer as that super attacker. Strykers utilizing the man advantage. If you take a look, the Sockers only have 4 players down on the turf. If you count Empire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The super power play for Empire.
Yeah, they're just going to move the ball.
Trying to spread out the defense. Drew Ruggles, Jesus Pacheco, Cesar Cerda, and Mitchell Cardenas out on the turf. That is one heck of a defensive unit for Phil Salvaggio as Fabian resets things. Fabian going into the left to Stinson. Stinson back over to Palmer. Palmer into Diaz. Diaz, that back heel into Fabian. Off of the wall to Alami. Alami with 2 goals on the season. In fact, Munir Alami has opened up the scoring for the Strykers 2 years in a row. Did so in Chihuahua, Mexico last season. Did so in Oceanside 2 weeks ago. There he is, the Moroccan international. To Fabian, who blasted. That deflects off of Pacheco, and that's going to be a quick restart. About 65 seconds left on this power play. Stinson with a shot. And he peppered that stake a little too heavily as that one goes right into the net. Strykers have yet to find a power play goal this season. The penalty kill for San Diego coming into tonight's matchup at 80%, Artie.
Yeah, San Diego's just so disciplined defensively, holding their shapes and their lines. But Strykers are moving the ball very well. Each of their opportunities thus far are of high quality. It's what they're looking for. So just got to keep pushing.
Under a minute to go in the quarter, 40 seconds to go in this power play. Can the Strykers pull another one back as Steven Chavez, formerly of the Texas Outlaws, collects the miter ball in midfield going back to Fabian. Chavez, with a challenging season at Texas, was one of the outliers offensively, had one of his best seasons. In fact, his best season. Shot fired by Diaz. and that one goes up into the netting.
Yeah, Berto not too happy with that decision. The veteran's going to let him know. There we go.
Diaz in his third year with the team, did not play within his first season, has an extensive futsal career going back to his time growing up in Havana, Cuba. As I mentioned, part of the Cuban national futsal team, as Polo Hernandez, an all-star in the Big West Conference at UC Riverside, hits the turf. Polo Hernandez, part of that 2023 UC Riverside team that won the Big West regular season as well as the Big West Conference tournament. Under 5 seconds to go. Orozco, not sure if he's aware of the clock, fires it in. And folks, that's the end of the first quarter, but what we imagined is happening. The Empire Strykers and the San Diego Sockers deadlocked after 15 minutes. Coach, any quick thoughts before we set it to break?
Surprise, surprise. Tight game. Back and forth, back and forth. Just a demonstration of will here. You know, Chris with that, I'm sure he's going to want that touch back. But again, look at the movement of the ball. Very unselfish. He also could have went there. Alan Perez was there for a little slot as well.
All right, folks. Back in a moment with second quarter action live from Toyota Arena.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golasso Network. Alex Bostavansky and Phil Ivanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics.
Loma Linda University Health and the Inland Empire Strykers have come together to support our community with a shared focus on health and fitness. The partnership reinforces both organizations' commitment to helping families thrive on and off the field. Together, we aim to build a stronger, healthier future for our Inland Empire region.
All right, now that we've paid the bills and did those sponsorship reads, back to the game. Both teams tied at 1 apiece. Both teams with 6 shots on target. Very evenly matched up first quarter, Artie.
Back to full strength as well, so here we go. So let's see how the Strikers look to extend. Last game, they kind of sat a little bit deeper in the second quarter. Same approach thus far.
We haven't seen too much, obviously, the early parts of the season. The Strikers only had the 1 game against San Diego in which they won in overtime. San Diego Sockers had a couple of games to start the season, but I got to tell you, longest off season in professional sports. Beyond happy that we're back here. What, 8 months and change? I'd have to do the math. Let's see here. 264 days in between games. That's way too much. Is Orozco's shot gets fired well off target and into the net.
Recognize that number 96 there, Philly. Momo making his first appearance for San Diego.
Momo Guy from Dakar, Senegal. member of the U.S. men's arena soccer team, got his start here in Toyota Arena for the Empire Strykers. A fan favorite, not only based on the way he plays the game, but his charisma. Momo Guy was traded to the San Diego Sockers as the season started. Momo Guy, a very beloved figure here in the Inland Empire.
Taylor Walter Bond getting his first shift, I believe, tonight. He's got some goals, so we'll see what happens here if he's broke a couple more tonight.
Taylor Walter Bond was a killer in that first game against the Strykers a couple weeks ago. Ball comes in to Alami. Counterattack opportunity. Alami shot. Kick saved by Toth. Another attempt off of the wall. Headed by Walter Bond. Back over to Chris Toth.
Once again, San Diego just getting exposed. They're going 2 free players on the counter. Got to really focus on that balance.
There we see Pacheco going back to his teammate, Chris Toth. And you could say teammate from a couple of occurrences. Both team players featured here for the Empire Strykers and Ontario Fury. There's been a lot of overlap between both teams, of course, being only so far from one another off the I-15. Chavez goes into Orozco. Orozco, 4 points last season between goals and assists. Tries to connect with Fabian in that right corner. Broken up by Oliveira. De Oliveira, the only scorer for San Diego here in the early moments of this game. Pacheco arguing with the referee. So Sebastian Mendez comes out of the sin bin. 5 minutes is a long time to be in the sin bin, and Sebastian Mendez, no stranger when it comes to just having a chat with the officials. We'll call it that. 5th year in the MASL, is second with San Diego.
Well, the reality is that it's a yellow, but I believe it's a natural stoppage before you can come off. So it's not like a power play where after 5 minutes you just go. That's why you saw the restart. He was able to come out.
Mendez in 89 games throughout his career, 76 goals. The pass in from Charles trying to find Morales, who comes back into this lineup. And you have to wonder as that pass comes in from Alan Perez into Diaz. Strykers have some numbers. Diaz into Mansoray. Mansoray trying to sneak it past Chris Toth, broken up by Cardenas. Valiant opportunity. Don't necessarily want to call it a missed opportunity as Perez's shot fires off the plexi. Ricochets into Somo. Strykers had a great opportunity to pull ahead as that one comes off of the wall. Collected back Perez. Perez's shot comes back over to Somo, and that's the beauty of indoor soccer. So many shots can get fired at such a quick pace. We saw 3 quick shots in succession. Strykers knocking on Chris Toth's door.
Now you're talking about the shots, but you know, I'm just stunned at Craig Child's recovery run.
Snuck in from Steven Chavez into Abdul Mansoray. Mansoray, a speedster. Ran track and played college soccer at Wilmington University in Delaware. And we see Drew Ruggles, a former Defender of the Year, battling against Steven Chavez. That ball goes to Powell. Powell to Ciro. Ciro to Polo Hernandez. There we see Orozco well outside of his box. It's one of those live by the sword, die by the sword moments when you have the keeper that far out of the net. But it makes for exciting indoor soccer, that's for sure.
Indeed.
Orozco, who's had some goal of the years last season. As I mentioned, 4 points off 2 goals and 2 assists. His counterpart, who we may see in the second half, Brandon Gomez, also 4 points. Brandon Gomez won the $1 million prize with Bumpy Pitch at TST tournament. In fact, several players between the San Diego Sockers and the Empire Strykers were part of that Bumpy Pitch team that took out a lot of very talented small-sided teams in Cary, North Carolina. Gratterall also competed in that tournament. For those unaware, the TST tournament, one of the largest growing small-sided tournaments in the world. Winning team gets $1 million. In the last 3 years, the winners have been dominated by MASL talent, which is why we bring it up.
It's an interesting little situation right there on that possession. You kind of saw Ruggles, almost like a linebacker in football, spying on the quarterback. Anytime the ball was almost going to Brian, he's in that rhythm to go.
Powell.
Very nice adjustment.
Fighting with Bebe Gonzalez. Look at Reyes using the wall into Fabian. Fabian broke out of traffic. Connects right in with Chavez. You see Ruggles and Bebe Gonzalez pressing the Strykers high, but Empire quickly breaks through as Chavez passes that yellow line. Into Fabian. Fabian's got Stinson wide open to the right. Puts on the brakes. Opts to go into Perez. Perez, another talent from UC Riverside. Goes into Stinson. Stinson trying to find space. Shot just misses. Stinson, a fan favorite here in Empire, been part of this squad for quite some time. As that's not going to be a goal, the whistle is blown. But I got to say, even from our perspective, sometimes even from that distance, scoring a goal like that, whether it counts or not, is impressive. There we see the shot going right into the bench.
You can only play 6 at a time.
8 minutes and 55 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
That was a never mind. They hit the, they had the free kick, but then they saw the opportunity to go, and the Sockers were like, never mind. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
There we see two Jamaican sensations in that of Tavoy Morgan and Berto Palmer battling.
Battle's the word, Philly.
Those two are going to go at each other easily. There's an attempt. That comes off of Stinson.
What a touch.
Ball into the corner. Off of the wall. Serda thought he was going to pull the trigger. Tavoy chests it. Alami and Tavoy battling in that corner as Palmer clears it. And Serda lets it go back over to Toth. Chris Toth, also a member of the United States men's national beach soccer team, along with his teammate Nick Pereira, who is the captain of that. Nick Pereira, familiar in these parts from the collegiate soccer era, won a national title with the University of California at Santa Barbara. In fact, was the most outstanding player in that College Cup when the Gauchos secured that title. One of the few Big West teams to reach that promised land.
That was a good cycle for UCSB.
Excellent cycle. A lot of talent in the Big West, I have to say. Toth in to Mendez. Pacheco has it, trips up, and that's going to be a whistle down on the turf.
I got my Von Steeg story. So one of my players was looking to go to Santa Barbara, and he told him what team you were on, and he goes, "Oh, you play for the guy that wears the flip-flops." which now that I'm down here drives Coach Jimmy Nordberg crazy.
Jimmy Nordberg, once the coach of the year in this league. Pacheco shot, that blasts off of Perez. There we see Morales back in the lineup. Ciro has it off the wall, but Serda into Toth. 7 minutes and 13 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. San Diego has come to play, no question about it. They're not just sitting back and waiting for Empire to attack. They're being aggressive on the ball, both defensively and offensively.
And they're playing into target's feet a lot more readily this game, in the middle third right here, just like this. Right, last game they were kind of dumping it a lot more. Just allowed for a more transitional game, which fits the young running strikers. But tonight they're kind of playing to target, which, as you can see, has kind of changed that tempo, and they're dictating more. And look at Craig Childs defending his final farewell tour, and he's defending like a youngster.
Morales, what a chip to Childs. Childs' shot saved by Orozco. Childs, the stats that he has, just incredible. 500 plus career goals, 700 plus assists. Last season alone, 24 goals, 8 assists, 32 points. There's a kick saved by Orozco. Orozco making the both of us wish we were a lot younger with that cat-like agility and that flexibility.
I pulled a hamstring just getting up to see the shot, see that save.
And folks, with that dead ball, with 6 minutes and 11 seconds remaining here in the quarter, we're gonna head into immediate timeout. But what a game we're having here in Toyota Arena. 1-1 Empire and San Diego. Back in a moment with the continuation of the second quarter.
Oh, I missed that little toe poke.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Special thank you to GoCal, your official destination guide to the inlands. Discover the best of Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, and the surrounding region, from top-tier dining and entertainment to family fun and outdoor adventure. GoCal showcases the best our region has to offer, whether you're new to the area or a local looking for something fresh. GoCal has you covered. Discover more at gocal.org.
6:11 remaining here in the second quarter. Quick restart. Craig Childs' shot, that deflects. Off the wall, there you see Tavoy and Berto battling on the wall. Mansoray and Morales. Mansoray finds the space. Mansoray shot saved by Toth. What an incredible save by Chris Toth. Pass comes in to Reyes. That was one of the best attempts the Strykers had here in the second quarter. Only their second shot on goal in the second quarter. San Diego's had 5 thus far, leading the way 11-8. As that one goes back into Orozco. Orozco into Diaz. Diaz advancing it across the yellow line, trying to find himself some space. Tries to skirt it through. And the whistle is blown by official Servando Berna. Let's take a look at that replay, Coach.
That was an interesting call. I thought it would go the other way. Cuts across, Charlie gets the body. Not really sure what the foul there was.
Quick restart. San Diego defends it very well. As Berto, Powell into Fabian. Fabian trying to battle against Cerda. So Strykers looking for a boarding call on Cerda. See if we can catch that replay again.
Coming in. Hit him a little low, but follow through I don't think warranted anything more than a regular foul.
Officials letting them play today, although we have seen a blue card this evening already.
This game certainly has the feel of a game further along in the season, doesn't it, Philly?
Oh, it does. Diaz's shot kicked high in the air by Cardenas. Fabian belts it. Alami heads it into that corner. Stinson and Gonzalez, 2 players that are very familiar with one another. And Alami hits the deck and the whistle blown by Servando Berna. And that's always the interesting thing. Look, Artie, you're a coach. You coached the Ontario Fury at some point. You know this rivalry, but these players know each other in a lot of fashions. I mean, between playing in small-sided tournaments, you know, what is it? What's the difference between knowing your opponent and not knowing your opponent? Do you think there's a varying level of animosity as Brian Orozco shot into the wall? Like, what I'm trying to ask you is, when you've competed with teammates and you've won with them, does that have any impact on competing against former teammates when they're on the opposite side of the turf?
100%. I think, you know, you're a competitive soul. So the more comfortable you are with somebody, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a great camaraderie amongst players, right? And also, when you beat someone, that camaraderie turns into moments at the pub, moments at the barbecues. But you come to compete, and it's a team sport. But every time when you're playing against guys, it's still mano a mano. You know, you talk about how you did against each other, and you can kind of see the rivalries. You can see the 1v1s. You can kind of see tonight. You saw Morales tracking as a 9, you know, a target forward. You saw Childs defending as a target forward. Now things are going. To be fair, Philly, I think this favors the Empire Strykers. The last few games I was talking before with one of the equipment people with Strykers. You know, when the Sockers kind of get into that mood where they're getting confrontational, they've kind of let the Strykers kind of come back into the game. So, in a weird way, this might be a good sign for the Strykers.
Well, right now, this has been a very even chess match, as the Sockers do have 12 shots to the Empire's 8, but both teams tied up at 1-1 with 4:15 remaining here in the second quarter. Restart by Hernandez into Somo. Somo, we just saw moments ago just his defensive ability, forcing the ball back into possession in that offensive third for the Strykers. There's a trip on Powell by Ruggles. Ball still finds its way into Hernandez. Polo into Somo. Somo, former Utica City FC player, goes back over to Ciro. Ciro into Orozco. Orozco with that much space, very dangerous to mark off the wall. Ruggles belts it into the air. It takes a bounce before Somo heads it. There we see a 50-50 ball, and that's going to be a foul on Leo.
That's it.
There you can see the arguing with the officials, and oftentimes when arguments happen with the officials, it's never really going to change the mindset once the call is made. As the restart's going to go by way of the Strykers, 3:39 here. Ciro Oliveira.
Starting to get heated out there, Philly.
Well, I mean, we expected that. Strykers and Soccer's not being heated, well, that just doesn't happen. Mendez's shot towards that United Chiropractic Health Center banner goes right into the capable hands of Orozco as he rolls it into Somo. Orozco with all that space. We've seen him score some bangers from that distance. He shoots it right into the path of Mendez. Mendez has it. Battle on that far end. You see both teams going after one another. Cerda recovers it for San Diego. Cesar Cerda, number 29 in his 10th year in the MASL. Part of that bumpy pitch TST side. Cesar Cerda, another incredible talent that San Diego possesses. Former league MVP Pereira bats it off the wall into Cerda, and that's going to be a foul going against Somo. And that create a line change for both teams. And for those wondering, yes, unlimited substitutions. The amount of field players that you see along with goalkeepers is very similar to that of hockey. In fact, back in the day, they used to refer to this sport as hock sock. The sport of indoor soccer obviously has roots tied to the major indoor soccer league of the late 70s, but some of the first indoor soccer games can be credited to being played right around the times of World War II at Madison Square Garden, where the term hock sock was created. Off the boards to Morgan. Morgan into Charlie Gonzalez. Gonzalez into Morgan. Broken up by Reyes. Mansoray has Chavez off of the wall. Great pass in. Tries to use the wall to his favor to get past Guy, but hits it with a little too much hot sauce on there as it goes directly to Toth, and that's going to come out of play.
I think Momo might have hit that one, Philly.
But it looks like Cardenas is waiting for it on the restart. So we see one of the staff members of the Empire Strykers, and shout out to all our interns here at Toyota Arena. Restart in for Cardenas with 2:17 remaining here in the second quarter. Plays it directly into Toth. Toth wearing the number of his father, Zoltan Toth. Zoltan Toth, one of the greatest to ever protect the gates, the pearly white gates. And Berto's going to be called for a foul as he pushes Childs off the ball. Two veterans, two rugged veterans, two all-stars of this game. Childs, an incredible offensive threat. Berto, an incredible defensive threat. Both captains of these teams.
Childs was pulling that foul 5 feet before the ball got there.
Going to be a restart. It'll be Childs. Childs fires it, and Orozco gets his hands on it, denying King San Diego himself what would have been a clear path to go from turf to twine. That was en route on the line, but Orozco's mittens denies Craig Childs. Gonzalez on the restart, and that comes right off of Gratterall, and that's going to get stuck in the netting. There we see the Miter ball. Miter, of course, the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. So that's going to be another restart here for San Diego. Keep your eyes on Morales, who is wide open, along with Childs. well outside by that yellow line. Childs has it. Morales with all the space in the world. Fires it, saved by Orozco. Another one bangs off the wall. Brian Orozco, save after save, keeping the Strikers in the game.
This young man has come so far when he, the 20-year-old boy that came into the YMCA back in the day. Just look at him. Look at his celebration. Look at that. Exuberance.
I mean, he's feeling it. If you want to see excitement packaged up into a goalkeeper, take a look no further than #1 Brian Orozco in his 4th season in the MASL. Played his high school at Notre Dame, West Ham TST, San Bernardino Valley College. For those very familiar with the CONCACAF Champions Cup, featured with the U17s, Guatemalan Giants, Comunicaciones, Orozco. There's so many incredible things we could say about him, but the saves that he has made, San Diego would have been up on a lesser goalkeeper, but Orozco doing Orozco-like things, keeping this game out of stalemate 1-1.
On top of that, he's an outstanding young man.
A fan favorite here in the Inland Empire. This is a dangerous scenario. Mendez shot in, and there once again is Orozco. Cleared away by Stinson. In the Chavez. Doesn't have the numbers, but gets by Mendez. He's gonna backtrack, turns it around right by the recovery lab dasher board. And the Strikers restart their offense. Palmer into Gratterall. Gratterall out of Venezuela. One of the new additions that head coach Anu Obasi has brought into the IE. The IE being an acronym for the Inland Empire. One of the biggest regions here in Southern California. Gratterall into Orozco as we approach 62 ticks of the game clock here in the half. Gratterall getting by Cerda, back heels it into Palmer. Palmer headed by Perez into Alami. Alami, the leading scorer for Empire this season, into Fabian. Fabian goes down and finds himself in a very opportune position as he almost collects it back. Morales into Gonzalez. Gonzalez skirts it through off of the Strikers' banner. Morales' shot, kick save. Orozco once again makes an exceptional save. Oh my Lord, if I could have a nickel for every time Orozco's made a great save, I'd probably have more than $1. 22 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The pass into Pereira. Pereira easily getting by Alami, looking for a foul. So we're looking down on in the stands. There we see one of the most famous fans of San Diego, the Cowboy himself. That hat, so many pins. He lost the original hat, unfortunately, down at Pechanga Arena. Childs' shot, that deflects and into the netting. San Diego's gonna have another opportunity here with 12.4 seconds remaining in the second quarter. What a momentum booster it would be if San Diego can manage to go from turf to twine. Corner kick restart here for Gonzalez. Some of the most deadly offensive threats for San Diego, wide open up top. Gonzalez chips it in. Morales' shot, banks it off the Empire dasher board. Gonzalez' shot, Alami with the defense. Cardenas back over to Gonzalez. Berto chests it back into Orozco, and folks, that's gonna do it for this first half. Two titans, two juggernauts of the indoor game, battling at a stalemate after 30 minutes of action. 1-1, we've had ourselves one heck of a first half.
Spectacular 1-1 contest. Outstanding saves from both goalkeepers, but Brian Orozco in particular standing on his head, making save after save after save. Soccer's very clinical. If they're loaded with specialists on the set pieces, they're far more effective today than they were the previous game, setting up a tremendous second half.
San Diego has been incredible within the second quarter. They've had 12 shots on goal to the Strikers 3, 18-9 thus far, and yet the result is still 1-1. Empire's got a lot of catching up to do to San Diego, but the goalkeeping prowess of Brian Orozco has kept Empire in this game, and he's had himself one heck of a half. The only goal scorers in this game opening up the score sheet early was Leo de Oliveira of San Diego, followed by Marco Fabian. That's how we find ourselves in this 1-1 stalemate. Coach, you've been part of the locker room conversation with the Ontario Fury / Empire Strikers. If you are head coach Anu Obasi, how do you view this first half performance?
I think it's just a grind. You know, everything that's happened to them thus far is what they expect from San Diego. They're at home. They've defended well. They've got what they've gotten out of Brian, which is a coming expectation. He's that good, right? But at the end of the day, if they do the same thing they did in the first half, they're going to get the same result. So they're going to have to come out a little more energy, a little more emphasis in getting in the final third. We saw a great example of how they attacked three, but then we got locked in the corner there. So they've got to make sure that as they go with those three, that they're working angles off to get those finishes as opposed to the reloads.
So we're just waiting, moments away from being turf side with Amanda the Panda Filament. And she's waiting for, I believe, to be head coach of the Empire Strykers, Onu Obasi. But if you're head coach Phil Salvaggio, obviously your team's starting off the season with 2 losses. Very much in this game, but being the aggressor, you got to feel pretty good if you're a member of the San Diego Sockers.
100%. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, you know, when Phil was asked about the Milwaukee game, you know, what does your team need to do at halftime? He said, wake up. Well, they certainly woke up. They came out much more focused, much more driven. Obviously, the personnel changes coming in to today's game versus the previous game have made a difference. You know, just looking at the shots on goal, San Diego with 18, the Strikers with 9. Surprise, surprise, Brian has twice as many saves as Chris Toth. And again, the fouls with San Diego, 11-4. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I thought, as I said before, with the emotions going, I thought it favored the Strikers. When you saw the emotions dull, they went back to playing footy. The Sockers prevailed, and I think that's one of the things, if I were Phil, I would talk about. You want to have that soccer, San Diego Sockers way, where you're going out and you're pressing everything. But when we're getting yellow cards, and you know that's 5 minutes that Mendez isn't on the pitch, on the floor. So you know you've got to stay, you've got to manage that edge. But you know when Phil's blowing up on the challenge flag as well, you know. But again, they've got it. They finished the half strong. They've got to make sure that they continue to get back to that and the high quality.
High quality indeed. And yeah, it's just amazing the amount of saves that Orozco's had versus Toth. All right, we're going to kick it over to Amanda the Panda Filament as she's standing by with Strikers head coach Onua Obasi. Kick it away, Panda.
I'm here with Coach Onu Obasi. We knew coming into tonight that this was going to be a physical battle. How do you feel that the guys have handled it so far, the pressure from San Diego?
Yeah, they put us under a lot of pressure. And you're right, physical is the word, because they've been hitting our guys and maybe a few cheap shots. We got the one blue, maybe could add a couple more, but you know, they're doing what they have to do, which is disrupt us and be really physical with us. And hopefully the refs can protect us a little more, but we have to keep the ball better ourselves. So, you know, that's what I'm going to tell the boys at halftime. Our levels have to rise.
So going into the half, it's 1-1. It's clearly a defensive battle. Brian Orozco has stood on his head this game with 10 saves already. How do you get them back into this game offensively?
Yeah, it's not what you want, a goalie with 10 saves at halftime, but yeah, I think it's just getting back to what we do. If we play the game, the same game as them, they're better than us at that game. So we have to play our game, more controlled style of football, and you know, I don't think they can keep that pace for 4 quarters, but it's on us to take the game back in our control.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Panda. Excellent insight from head coach Onu Obasi. Excellent questions from Amanda the Panda Filament. We're going to step aside for a break. It's halftime. Both teams knotted up. Strikers and Sockers 1-1. Halftime here from Toyota Arena. Backing them up.
All passengers and cabin crew should now be seated within the self-extended pathway. The cabin lights will remain dim for landing.
Hi everybody, I'm Amanda the Panda, and I'm joined today by Joel Green, but hundreds of thousands of people on social media know him as the IE Explorer. Joel, thank you for being here today.
I am so honored. Are you kidding me?
I cannot wait. I know you're going to be so much fun to talk to. Now, where to go, what to see, what to do, those are just some of the questions that you answer on your social media sites. What motivated you to start talking about the IE?
Well, it was out of necessity, Amanda. Seriously, we started Inland Empire Explorer out of absolute necessity. I've been a TV host for over 25 years and traveling everywhere. People kept saying there's nothing to do in the Inland Empire. And my team and I were like, what? There's so many things to do here. And so we thought rather than trying to explain it to them or tell them, we thought we would show them. So we created a TV show called Inland Empire Explorer for PBS over 15 years ago. And we're so lucky to have it as a top show for years, and now it's one of the top channels on social media. Thank goodness.
That's so incredible. Now, one of our partners tonight is GoCal, which they highlight Ontario and Rancho Cucamonga, and they focus on it as a destination for tourism and business. How does your initiative fit into that?
Oh, it's like a partnership merge. I mean, we've actually been partners with GoCal for years ourselves.
Okay.
So creating wonderful content. Here, the goal here, Amanda, is to get people off their couch and out to explore.
Yes.
And what better way than to show them what's available in Greater Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga. We partnered with GoCal in doing the Restaurant Week for the last 6 years. We've done Restaurant Week videos for them. So I'm telling you, they have the pulse on what's going on right here.
I love food, so that's amazing. Now, you're here tonight with the Empire Strykers. What are you most excited about?
So I'm going to be honest with you. This is my very first game here inside Toyota Arena, viewing the greatest show on turf. I'm not kidding.
Love it.
This is my first. I got to see them practice.
Yes.
And the thing that blew me away was all the shots on goal, all the scoring that takes place.
He knows.
And constant action. So what I'm excited about is to see all that under Toyota Arena.
You are going to have your mind blown. I cannot wait for this to show up on your what to do in the IE list. I have no doubt it's going to make it.
Yes.
Tell everybody out there where they can find you on social media.
Instagram, TikTok, IE Explorer. On Facebook, it's Inland Empire Explorer. Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Of course. Thank you for being here and have a good time.
Go Strykers.
Let's go.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health science. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Shoot! He
How goes knows it, folks. This is MASL in 5. Back for another week. Hope everyone is doing great. Things are up across the league, and there are some big matchups happening this weekend. I've only got 5 minutes to fill you in, so let's get to it.
I doubt DeLima wants to be a footnote in Childs' history. Will he be the goalkeeper to make the save? Childs, welcome to the 300 Club, Craig Childs. Craig Childs, take a bow. You needed 2 goals to get to 300. You had 2 goals today. You now have 300.
Say it ain't so. Craig Childs, the legendary captain of the San Diego Sockers, has announced he will retire at the end of this season. Jeez, isn't there anything more for you to do, Craig? You're only the all-time leading scorer in Sockers history with 6 championships under your belt. I jest, of course. What a career. Last season, he surpassed the 500 career goal mark. The Sockers will honor Childs with a bobblehead giveaway on Alumni Night on February 7th. What a career Childs has had. That being said, him and his boys weren't too happy last weekend. They took on the Milwaukee Wave at home and dropped their 2nd consecutive game to start the campaign, falling 8-4. Milwaukee looked great, but when was the last time San Diego started a season 0-2? If you know the answer, please let us know. Kansas City, the Comets, were flying high heading into Baltimore after sweeping St. Louis in 2 games to start the season, but
can't touch it. Here comes Thomas. Thomasin on a break. Thomas shoots. Scores! Oh, the miscue off the restart. J.B. Thomas makes him pay.
The Blast was utterly dominant in their home opener, beating up on the Comets 11-3. Who saw that coming? Baltimore definitely opening some eyes around the league. Utica City had their season opener hosting the Comets the next day, and for a while, it was looking good for the boys in blue in this one.
Transition for Tyson Santos. Great ball ahead to Gerson. Gerson scores! And he celebrates a 2-0 lead.
They would stretch that lead to 3. The Blues were up by 2 with 2 minutes left, but they couldn't lock it down. KC tied it in the dying moments, and then Rion Marquez ripping the beauty home right there in overtime as the Comets avoid a disastrous weekend with the overtime win. Your updated scoring leaders after 2 weeks: Zach Riggett on top with 8 points. Teammate Andoreo second with 6, tied with Rion Marquez. Charlie Gonzalez entering the conversation with 5 points. And new KC Comet Dom Francis adapting to his new surroundings with 5 points as well. A couple of big matchups to tell you about for this weekend. The first meeting of the season between KC and Milwaukee takes place. Old school MASL rivals. And after the Waves' dismantling of San Diego and the Comets getting smoked by Baltimore, this game could be an early indicator as to where the balance of power lies in the league this year. Also, those Blast will be in Tacoma for 2 games. It'll be our first look of the season at the Stars. How will they handle the hot starting Baltimore, and how will they fare after the departure of superstars Nick Pereira and Chris Toth? We shall soon find out. And your players of the week have been announced. In goal, Willie B from the Milwaukee Wave. Rion Marquez offensively from the KC Comets, and from Baltimore, Chad Porch getting the defensive honor. Let's start with Marquez, who was massive in their comeback win over UCFC. 3 goals, including the overtime winner, which we're about to show you in just a moment. Chad Porch, big in Baltimore's win over Comets the day before. 2 goals and 1 assist for the reigning MASL Rookie of the Year. And in goal, Willie B. Great in the Waves win over San Diego. Good ball dispersal throughout the game, and also he made the big saves when necessary, stopping 10 of 14 shots. Time now for your plays of the week.
2:20 left in the half. Charlie rips it in! Charlie
Mijanovic had a shot into the wall earlier. This time lays it off, shot fired, what a save! Wilkin double, triple off the wall, and Utica City block it away. All on the defensive side of the ball. Pinal, little roulette, double roulette. Pinal, here's Gerson. That's the assist of the year. Gerson scores, but how about Junior Pinal?
Tackle there by Mijanovic. Oh, Reagan with the deflection, big save. Rodriguez says no again.
The way he kept it alive, tipped by Gonzalez, and that's the assist to Bennett. High B.
Looking long with the throw. Great throw from Ejimadu. Marquez scores! A shorthanded game winner for Kansas City, who win 8-7.
And that's all the time we've got for today. But just a reminder, all throughout the season, to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the Major Arena Soccer League, be sure to check out the league's official social media outlets. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. Subscribe today to MASL TV on YouTube. You'll find game rebroadcasts, MASL shows, highlights, and more. Back here for the start of the third quarter. My name's Philly. I'm joined by Artie and Philly. That is the broadcast tandem that you will hear all season long here in the Empire as the Strikers are set to kick things off here in the third quarter. Game 1-1, goal scored by Leo de Oliveira of San Diego and Marco Fabian of the Empire Strykers. For Fabian, that is the first home goal that he scored this season, obviously, and he did the same thing again last year against Utica City. For Fabian, his 62nd career goal and his 90th point. The Sockers have dominated this game, 18-9 as far as shots, and the story, as Munir Alami's shot goes right into the capable hands of Chris Toth. The story, though, has been in the first half. Brian Orozco for the Empire Strykers, 10 saves.
Just outstanding. That's all you can say. I mean, just his reactions. He's cat-like. He's just organized. He's working. You know, luck is when hard work meets opportunity, Philly, and he's working hard, and the luck is great.
There's an opportunity, a through ball. Little too hot for Pacheco. The through ball past Devoy Morgan. Off of the wall. Batted by Morales. And Fabian recovers off of the header from Alami. Fabian is going to backtrack into Palmer. Palmer to Orozco. Orozco chested from Alami. Fabian with an opportunity here. He chips it. And that's going to slow down this counterattack opportunity for Empire. Alami sandwiched in between 2 Sockers, and he's going to draw a foul on Tavoy Morgan. Alami, under duress, found himself in a very good opportunity, managing to draw a foul in a tough situation.
Very, very good situation for him to get that foul, but I'm still amazed at that entry pass from Brian Orozco, the goalkeeper. Little Little rainbow to the target player. What else is he going to do next? Take it off his chest and volley for a goal, probably.
If you're an Empire Striker, nothing more distasteful than being in a soccer sandwich. Shot by Fabian, saved by Toth, headed by Gonzalez. And that's going to be a restart opportunity. I'm glad I can make you cackle, Artie. That's always fun to make my broadcast partner cackle. Stinson tries to spin around, hits the deck. And there's a battle. Stinson and Pacheco, those are two players that have a lot of history together. Not because they are competitors, but because they're among the best of friends. Pacheco down on the turf. Look, he's a tough kid coming out of Northridge. Pacheco is as tough as they come. He may be listed at the height that he's in, but Pacheco's got the heart of a 10-footer.
And just to point out, Justin, when he plays outside of striker uniform, he wears the 91. And Jesus Pacheco tonight wearing the 91. It's great to see it, Philly.
Got to mention, for those not aware of that, number 91 was worn by your son, Artie, the late, great Joseph the Jet Kyrell. Forever in our memories, never forgotten. Rest in peace, Joseph the Jet Kyrell.
Fly high, Jet.
And for those wondering where the 91 stems from, and the Jet, obviously, on the Strykers logo, that is paid in homage to the late Joseph the Jet Kyrell. A loved member of not only the Tacoma Stars, but the Ontario Fury. Sockers on that restart is Mendez. Mendez looks to find Pereira. Pereira broken up by Chavez. Chavez has made an impact on this game. You can see exactly why Coach Obasi has wanted to bring him in from the Texas Outlaws. Mansouri is going to restart everything for Empire, and that goes into Diaz.
Just fits, he fits the mold of the new Empire Striker player.
Diaz, a really talented player. So there's a tournament that goes on in South Central Los Angeles, courtesy of The Surgeon. And Walter Diaz, The Surgeon, is a sneaker designer. And they do a tournament with a lot of really talented players featuring in the small-sided game. And Walter Diaz has really upped his chops and his ability playing in there. And of course, playing for the Cuban national futsal team, you're gonna have a lot to contribute. But with his history of injuries, we haven't really gotten to see much of him throughout his career in his third season in Empire. But Walter Diaz getting significant minutes here in the Strykers home opener.
He's been very technical with the ball. You can see the futsal experience, but he's been very technical. He's playing with a load of confidence. What a great dummy by Leo.
Excellent dummy, trying to find Mendez, but Somo, not to be dummied by that play, as Orozco advances it up top to Chavez. Chavez had a chance to interview him for our Fox Sports radio show and ABC radio show, Soccer in 60. Chavez had an incredible year last season with the Outlaws. 24 games played, 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points. In fact, last time he was in this building, he was part of an Outlaws team that got skunked. That means shutout in slang terminology. A shutout in indoor soccer is practically a unicorn. Alami with a shot, bats it off the Empire dasher board. Another attempt by Gratterall, and that's going to come off of the net, off of Serra. It's going to be a drop ball. Actually, a quick restart here for the Strykers as Stinson to Reyes. Reyes into Gratterall. Gratterall advancing it, sees Cesar Cerda, and heck, anytime I see Cerda, I decide to retreat my steps. Cerda, lockdown defender for San Diego. So that one goes right into the hands of Toth. In a sport that averages as many goals as it does, between both teams last season, they would average collectively a combined 11 goals per game. I'm really surprised that it's still only 1-1 here in the third quarter, Artie. But both teams playing incredibly compact as Fabian fires it from distance and Toth makes another save.
Yes, both goalkeepers are just being very influential in the outcome thus far, especially Brian. Dangerous.
Serra keeps it in play into Walter Bond. Bond already with 2 goals on the season. Off of the wall, and that's going to be a foul against Andy Reyes as he's debating it with Servando Berna. Andy Reyes will very rarely have conversations and dialogue with the officials. Reyes in his 10th season in the MASL, 7th here in the Empire out of San Diego, California. Plays for the U.S. World's Mini Football Team, the U.S. Futsal National Team, and the Arena Team. A member of the Bumpy Pitch $1 Million winning team last season. 40 career goals, 33 assists want to give him his flowers, a veteran in this sport. Restart here for San Diego with 10 minutes and 11 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Shot, that belts off of the Empire. You can see the battle between Reyes and Childs. Childs is going to win that 10 out of 10 times. Threaded through.
That was a very, very, very good challenge by Andy Reyes there on Craig Childs, because his leverage scheme is very good.
Gonzalez and Perez manages to win it back. Alan Perez is, well, he spent some time here in his 5th year in the Empire, out of Van Nuys, California, product of Taft College and UC Riverside. Started his career in the M2 with the Ontario Fury 2, and every season he has continued to improve and get better and better. Perez, 21 career goals, 21 assists, 42 points as a midfielder, operating also as a defender.
Alan's done it all. I mean, he's worked his way through, but he's a consummate team player. Will play where you need to play him and put in a yeoman's work every single time.
100%. You look up the definition of professional. Excellent save by Orozco and Palmer. We could credit them both on that save. Orozco's goals against average today has been just stellar. And that's going to be a foul down on the turf. There we see some of the chippiness occurring between both sides, but Taylor Walter Bond showing us a display of sportsmanship as he brings up Justin Stinson. Starting to hear a bit of poultry in Toyota Arena. By poultry, I mean the Boo Birds.
Yeah. What's the world coming to when Taylor Bond is the ambassador? I mean, Taylor's a rough and tumble player, so it's nice of him to do that, but it's just kind of funny to me.
I mean, a career that spanned a decade and change, playing for the Chicago Mustangs, the Tacoma Stars, Cedar Rapids, the Sockers, the Tropics, the Heat, Utica City, couple of years in San Diego, and MASL champ. Taylor Walter Bond has done it all in his 181st career game, and having an offensive renaissance already with more goals this season than he had last year.
He's been playing very, very well. Exciting to see, again, another player who's put in his time, put in his work, does all the dirty stuff, gets in strong, bit of an enforcer, so being rewarded with those goals this year.
So timeout on the field as the officials are heading over to the booth. Last season, the San Diego Sockers went 20-4, a team that was highly dominant, falling to the Chihuahua Savage in the Ron Newman Cup Finals. The Empire Strykers ended their postseason drought last season with a record of 12-10-2, where they had their postseason hopes thwarted by San Diego in that playoff bubble that occurred
After review, there was
at
no blue card on
Oceanside.
the play. Empire loses their challenge.
So Empire challenged for a blue card as the challenge flag was issued by Onu Obasi. No blue card is to be awarded, and as a result of that, Empire no longer has any challenge flags for the duration of tonight's matchup.
MGR Real Estate and MGR Property Management, Southern California's largest independent family-owned real estate company, providing commercial sales and leasing, residential sales and leasing, residential and commercial property management, and homeowner association management. MGR Real Estate Services, the proud sponsors of the Empire Strykers.
The Empire Strykers on the restart. Palmer bangs it off of the boards in the Powell. Anthony Powell out of Texas. Powell played in Sweden professionally as well as Iceland. Happy to be here in Southern California. A forward, one of the very many talented forwards that the Strykers have. There he is on the ball, being pressed by Pacheco as he calmly retreats into Palmer. Palmer into Orozco. Looking for Gratterall in that far left corner, headed out by De Oliveira. Stinson has it, backheels it into Gratterall. Strykers looking to reset that offense here with 8 minutes and 30 remaining in the third quarter. Palmer hits it off the wall into Powell. Powell, who wears, well, sports the name Ant, short for Anthony, on his jersey. As that ball comes into Gratterall. Gratterall into Oliveira. Oliveira into Palmer. Stinson with that blue hair. Loving the blue hair. I used to think I had the best hair game in the Major Arena Soccer League, and then I met Justin Stinson. And as much as I try, I dyed my hair pink. The young man upstages me time and time again with the blue hair. As we see his chip pass, bouncing. Collected by Alami, the Moroccan international. Palmer with a shot, saved by Toth.
Good hit from Berto.
Great save by Toth as he palms that out. Strykers have it back. Gratterall with Pacheco directly in front of him, vying his options as Perez comes back onto the turf for Empire. 7:15 to go here. Oliveira.
Good changes from the Soccers, using up the short board there.
Strykers bring in Fabian. Fabian already with 1 goal today, the only goal for the Strykers. Diaz gets by Walter Bond. Diaz puts on some brakes, breaks some ankles, fires it into the netting. But if this was an N1 scenario, broken ankles left everywhere. And with that play belted into the netting, we're going to head into immediate timeout. 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Both teams still deadlocked at a score of 1-1.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Visit MASLsoccer.com to shop the all-new MASL fan store for the latest MASL and team gear. MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League, all the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more.
We would like to thank our official hotel sponsor, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, a Hyatt affiliate hotel conveniently located just 2 miles from the Ontario International Airport and 4 miles from the Ontario Convention Center.
You're darn right I'm excited about the Ontario Airport Hotel. That's where the after party is, at the Crossbar. We better see you there if you're in the Inland Empire. All right, 6:45 here in the third quarter. There we see the Strykers aggressively pressing the Soccers as that one comes out of play and into a San Diego Soccers fan. There we see Cowboy, there we see Frank, we see some legendary Soccers fans that have followed this team through thick and thin. And that's the beauty of the sport. You got some diehards, some loyals, some fans that have been around since the days of the MISL, which is an acronym for the Major Indoor Soccer League. Folks, this is a sport that has a lot of history, even though the Major Arena Soccer League has only been around for a decade and change. Pass comes into Stinson. Stinson, Serta bodies him off. Kick saved by Toth. And while we're talking about the goalkeeping prowess of Orozco, Chris Toth makes save after save. Chris Toth. Look, Brian Orozco and Brandon Gomez of the Empire Strykers are high risers in this league. But Chris Toth, along with his running mate Boris Pardo, these guys are living legends as far as backstops in this league.
Most certainly. Veteran. You saw that wrong foot fadeaway save right there.
Someone to Stinson. Into Olami, his shot off the mark. And look at Charlie Gonzalez. Charlie Gonzalez. There, you want to talk about another very talented player. So much time in this league. One of the franchise leaders for the Ontario Fury. Found a nice home in San Diego where he's won a couple of rings with Phil Salvaggio. Tavoy Morgan. There we see the slide by Chavez. The restart by Leo. Saved once again by Orozco. Tavoy Morgan was in the way, but Orozco crashes in on it. Now the Strykers would normally operate as a platoon, bringing in Brandon Gomez. Brandon Gomez also an incredible goalkeeper, but Onuo Obasi of Empire sticking with Orozco, and how could you not after he made the saves that he made in the first half?
Like riding a good pitcher in baseball, you know, when the game's going your way, you don't want to jinx it.
Fabian heads it over to Pacheco, won by Reyes. Reyes passes it into Alami. Alami gets dispossessed by De Oliveira into Cardenas.
A great ball.
Off the wall, Pereira. That's a dangerous man. Does he have a goal in his pocket? Another dangerous man, Gonzalez. One of the best holding midfielders that you'll see in the sport. Off the wall to Pereira. Shot. What a banger. Upper right corner. And inserting his name not only in the score sheet today, but for the season. Luis Morales puts the Sockers up by a score of 2-1.
What a great finish. Just snuck back shoulder, the blind shoulder. Look at this as he comes here off the wall. He just comes off that shoulder. Poor touch on the unlucky touch. But just the movements getting to the spots. And again, the luck, hard work meeting opportunity. Just worked hard to get to the spot and finish that. Very clinical.
And despite not showing up to training camp this season, after having signed a 5-year deal, Luis Morales makes an impact right away, which goes to show you how important of a player he is to San Diego. Just to reiterate, MASL Newcomer of the Year in his rookie season. Played for the United States men's national futsal team. Played in the Kings League. He's now registered his 90th career goal. Morales, a key cog to Phil Salvaggio's offense.
Indeed, he made an influence early on with his touches and his creativity, and there, his hard work actually resulted in the goal. Great lesson for young players. You can have all the technique in the world, but at the end of the day, it's the hard work that's going to get you the success.
But a lot of that hard work was created by Nick Pereira.
100%.
Nick Pereira, look, I've given him so many flowers throughout the course of his career. A 2-time MASL MVP. Nick Pereira is as good as it gets.
No, just plugging in the sequences, right? I mean, that sequence right there is what they do in their warm-ups almost. You know, that pattern. So
there was
execution at its finest.
100%. And you'd have to wonder, when you bring in somebody like a Pereira, somebody who's very tactical and logical, a man who is an alpha, so to speak. You bring him into a locker room with a lot of alphas that San Diego has. You'd have to wonder if there are too many chefs in the kitchen. But so far, San Diego's cooking up a nice stew as they're up on the Empire Strykers by a score of 2-1 with a little over 3 minutes to go here in this third quarter.
Well, that starts with Coach Phil Salvaggio. You say what you want about Phil, but at the end of the day, you know, top-level football, it's about managing the personalities in the locker room, and he's shown time and time through the championships and the winning that he's able to do that. So I think there's just a culture there that you have to kind of uphold. There it is again.
And there's a blue card immediately issued. And there we see things getting really chippy down on the turf as Oliveira hits the deck. I'd have to see exactly what created that, what might have even warranted that play, but either way, you slice and dice it.
Well, it looked as though Ruggles got a little upset at being touched, and he pushed him from behind, which resulted in the blue card. And then going down, I think he kind of put a little extracurricular on it, which is, looks to me, it's going to ultimately end up with the yellow.
And so Ruggles now heads into the box. And look, that's a tough play. I mean, Ruggles gives you so much when it comes to defense, but Ruggles also knows how to score too. So him being in that sin bin certainly creates a deficit for San Diego. As we're looking down on the turf, the Sockers are going to employ Cardenas, Pacheco, Mendez, and Cerda, obviously along with Toth.
could be a significant penalty because, like I said earlier, the way the Strikers play and keep the ball, this could be longer than the amount of time that he's allocated from the cards.
And no surprise, Berto Palmer puts on that 6th attacker jersey. Can he be the 6th attacker dagger that Empire needs?
And compound this, Philly, with the fact they've got to send another player over there. So Leo is now going to be out for the 2 minutes.
There we see a blue card being issued.
Then the stomp.
Then, yeah, step on the foot. Whether it's incidental or not, look, I'm not here to judge. But what I can tell you for a fact is that Leo and Ruggles are in the box, and the Strikers have the man advantage. So Fabian here on the restart with 2 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Strikers need to take advantage of this moment. They've not been very efficient on the power play. Second game of the season for them. Not a great body of work to really criticize that. But got to make the best of the opportunities you have because San Diego's not going to make it easy on any opposition. Still looking for their first win of the season. Strikers have not beaten San Diego 2 games in a row since the 2021 season. It'd be one heck of a statement for San Diego to start the season with 3 losses, and of course for Empire to start the year with 2 wins against their arch rivals. Empire views San Diego as their arch rivals, but in the 58th meeting between both teams, San Diego with a 47-10 edge. You tell me whether or not they view the Strikers as rivals. Fabian into Palmer, 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, 1:15 on the power play. Diaz with Pacheco in front of him, going into that right. Tough touch by Palmer as he was wide open with a nice trajectory. Into Fabian. Fabian weighs his options, goes into Diaz. Diaz looking to spread out the field. Fabian, under a minute to go in this power play. Diaz creates some space, and that deflects off of Mendez. Great defending by San Diego here. Under 50 seconds remaining here in this power play. Palmer into Diaz. Diaz across that yellow line. Into the right side. Alami kicks it up top to Palmer. Mendez, I thought he was going to gamble on it. Was smart to backtrack and not allow an easy shot. Fabian, back over to Palmer. Approaching 30 seconds remaining in this power play. Strikers looking to at least fire one off. Fabian in Alami. Alami back over to Marco, kicked away by Cardenas. And Mendez is gonna roll it back. 18 seconds left on the power play. Diaz there as Walter Bond advances up to try to pressure him. Palmer, 8 seconds to go. The Strikers are still looking to fire one off. As Dale Oliveira is going to get ready to come back onto the turf. Alami off the wall into the capable hands of Tope. Power play broken.
Nice little nuance there with change with Mendez and Bond. You saw that Bond was able to press because he had the legs because they just made that quick change on that long ball. Those little things are going to make the difference in the game.
One back by San Diego. Cerda with the moves into the right. And a wasted opportunity for San Diego as that one elevates high into the Ontario air and into the netting.
That was a very unfortunate touch by Charlie.
Thrown back into play. There we see Brandon Gomez checking into the matchup, getting his first minutes. 13 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Passed into Momo Guy. Oh, intercepted by Mansoure. Mansoure has it with the shot clock getting ready to expire. And there we hear the horn, folks, as we're 3/4 of the way through into this matchup, the 58th edition of the SoCal Showdown, the I-15 collision, and Luis Morales finds his first goal of the season, putting San Diego up by a score of 2-1, where the Sockers sit in the catbird seat with 1 more quarter to go.
An exciting finish. Kind of looking here at the goal again. Little bounce, little pattern. Hit the spot, goal.
1 more quarter to go, folks. Don't you dare go anywhere. You're watching the MASL on CBS Sports Golazo Network.
Can't take the most, I can't take it from
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach O.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on Twitter. Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV, on YouTube, and CBS Sports Golazo Network. The homies, Alex Bostovansky and Phil Levanko, are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. Disagree with a call tonight? You might just see it on the MASL's most controversial show, Under Review with Phil Levanko and MASL head referee Ryan Sigich. Catch it every Friday on YouTube.
Join the Hope Through Housing Foundation in empowering children and families in the Inland Empire and beyond through after-school programs and financial coaching. To learn more and see how Hope is making a difference, visit hopethroughhousing.org. San Antonio Regional Hospital is a proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers, keeping our community strong, healthy, and active for over 115 years. San Antonio Regional Hospital, here for life.
Speaking of life, the Strykers coming into the fourth quarter, clinging on to life here as San Diego just scored a goal, courtesy of Luis Morales in his first game this season. 2-1 the score, and San Diego came out to play. 22 shots throughout the entirety of the game to the Strykers 15. But here in this third quarter, the Strykers did have the edge, 6-4.
Yes, they changed it a little bit. They changed the game and created some chances. I think, you know, it bodes well for the Strykers. The Sockers kind of short hit a couple of passes, but then they paid. You know, the Empire Strykers paid the price on the poor touch. So, you know, I think it's not gonna finish 2-1 Philly.
No, not at all. And how many games have we seen between these two teams, especially last season, where it really came down to the wire? The Strykers did not win a single game against San Diego last season, finishing 0-6. And obviously the win at Front Wave was huge. But San Diego, with all the talent they have and bringing back Luis Morales. And look, they don't have Ben Raymond. They don't have Gabriel Costa. They're missing some of their best players, and yet they're playing some of their best soccer that we've seen this season thus far. I mean, how could you count out Phil Salvaggio's team?
You're seeing a proud effort of veterans out there. You're seeing Craig Childs defend. You're seeing Nick Pereira defend, tracking players. You're seeing Walter Bond pressing to kill time on the power play. I mean, these guys are playing for more than just the result today. I think they've taken it personal on that 0-2 start, especially the Strykers coming into their house and winning the game in overtime the way they did.
Gonzalez, and that one gets dispossessed as Somo recovers it, but Gonzalez is down on the turf. The officials allowing them to play. Pass comes into Mansoure. Mansoure, one of the fastest players you'll see in this league, has a pass broken up by Pacheco. Gonzalez gets back up. Somo over to Palmer, and the whistle gets blown. There we see Palmer and Gonzalez chirping at one another, and no surprise, two hard-nosed competitors wanting to will their teams into victory. Palmer, one of the best defenders in the sport. Gonzalez, one of the best midfielders in this sport. And if this is the first time that you were watching the MASL, you've literally witnessed two of the best in this game. And while both teams average quite a few goals this season, the goals for average for Empire is 5, the goals for average for San Diego is 4. 2-1 just goes to show you how compact both teams are playing defensively.
And how well the goalkeepers are playing.
That absolutely. Orozco being tested time and time again. Toth was a little busier in the third quarter than he was in the first and the second. Orozco into that left corner. That takes a bounce. Headed from Bebe Gonzalez. Into Mendez, tried to find Pacheco. Reyes collects it. Chavez is going to draw a foul. Strykers were looking for a boarding call. No boarding call there as Momo Guy and Taylor Walter Bond check back into the lineup for San Diego. Restart here. Somo. I stand corrected. Stinson to Somo. There we see the hard-nosed defense by Walter Bond. He shots it. Shotsy. He fires it.
Is that a sandwich place in Jersey? Shotzi's?
Maybe. I'm just glad it didn't say anything incorrect. As that shot fires in to the public address announcer's booth. We're happy that John Spire, public address announcer of the Empire Strykers, didn't get his head taken off there. As that one comes off of the United Chiropractic Health Center, drfantasia.com. Dr. Fantasia has certainly added some magic into my back.
Again, look at Nick Pereira running back. I mean, this game means a lot to these Sockers, I'll tell you that.
Looking to get off the schneid, looking for their first win of the season. We mentioned how the Strykers were the first team that beat San Diego on their blue turf. They lost their second game. And then, of course, they're looking to compete here against Empire. What a statement it would be if they can walk out of Toyota Arena with the dub on the road. Diaz over to Reyes. Reyes into Stinson. Stinson, as we mentioned, 2 points away from being number 2, surpassing Charlie Gonzalez. Now of the San Diego Sockers, number 2 all-time for the Empire Strykers / Ontario Fury with points. If Stinson can somehow replicate the performance that he had last season, that would propel him to number 1. The all-time franchise leader in goals scored and points obtained for the Empire Strykers is courtesy of Frank Tayu. Tayu now playing for Solis de Sonora in M2. And Artie, I'm not sure if you took a look at the lineup that Sonora has. That's a team in M2 in the developmental tier of MASL, but a team that could probably beat a lot of the Tier 1 squads.
Oh, definitely. And they play that little place very well.
Stinson down. Let's take a look at that replay again.
It's a little.
As it gets checked in by Momo Guy.
Tell you what, Momo's about half a back length away from a blue card right there, because if he would have touched higher on the shoulder and gone into the boards, that would have been quite dangerous.
I have to wonder what's in Momo's head. His first game back here in Ontario, albeit the start of the season, really just happened, and he was just traded, taken away by Gonzalez, also a member of last year's squad. Shot well off the mark.
Oh boy.
And Mendez is going to draw a foul on Palmer. Palmer smiling. He knows that he was guilty. And Mendez would normally argue with the referees. Nothing to say there, as he knew right then and there that he drew the foul. While a score attempt opportunity denied by the Empire. Forgot to mention that despite the fact that Brandon Gomez was in between the sticks for Empire, Brian Orozco's back there. Morales into de Oliveira. Oliveira's shot. Tries to wallet it. A lot of Brazilians in this league. A lot of Oliveiras, de Oliveira. So even myself, I get caught up in which one's which. As that one comes off the RPM 12 sign into Morales. Morales battling with Mansoret. And Orozco is there to kick it out. Shot. And Mansoret comes off of his ankle and into the crowd.
Another dangerous top of the arc here.
Top of the arc here and dangerous. And of course, who are the Sockers going to bring onto the turf? Craig Childs. Craig Childs with space, exceptionally lethal. So look for Mendez to go to his left. Or to his right. Shot. And that's in. It happened so quickly that I didn't even realize that it went in. Charlie Gonzalez with a Charlie golazo, putting the Sockers up by a score of 3-1. Chargo puts San Diego up.
Probably call that play the shell game. If you look, you see Childs make the run. Just a slight look away because of Childs' dangerous right foot. Little set. Find that window. You see that window right there to play in? The window between the defender and Brian. No chance for Brian there.
And of course, the play set up by Childs. Gonzalez, who had 16 goals last season and 20 assists, led the Sockers in points and is leading them in points this season, puts a crucial goal. San Diego up 3-1. You gotta be feeling really good if you're Phil Salvaggio. Teams have taken a timeout here with under 11 to go. Both teams are going to their clipboards, their X's and O's. You have had that experience. What are you drawing up, or what are you saying to your squad? Down by 2 here with plenty of time, though, remaining in the fourth quarter, Coach.
Well, you just got to get them focused on what's going on. You know, on the striker side of it, they've got to execute better and create those chances and stay dialed in on the set pieces like, you know, just happened to them. On the soccer side, they're going to want to continue to keep pushing forward, keep their emotions intact, and not allow the strikers to get into the match. But, you know, Abasi's going to come up with something as far as how to create more chances. I would venture to guess he's probably going to work at better angles on the changes and find guys deeper onto the boards possibly to break that line to get in. You know, what you saw here with the Sockers, that indirect line off the boards, you know, that Leo hit with both feet, the little Dorothy heel tap attempt that he took, right? So I think that the strikers would be well versed to try to look at those situations, use the indirect lines as opposed to the direct lines to create chances.
All right, I'm going to stop you for a second. A Dorothy heel tap? Are you just simply saying there's no place like home, meaning the goal? Is that what that means? Because I don't know who Dorothy is otherwise, Artie.
Well, you know, I'm really up on that movie series Wicked.
Oh, well, of course. I can't wait to see the second part of that. Panda and I loved it.
Did you? I haven't seen it, actually. I'm just joking.
Oh, well, you mentioned Dorothy. Heels, no place like home, ruby red slippers. And look, the Strikers are going to want some of those ruby red slippers, clicking them 3 times, because 3 times of those ruby reds would put them above San Diego right now as the Strikers start here. Down by 2 as Powell puts it in the play into Reyes.
Got Marco out there, so I would expect to see him trying to get the ball or try to isolate Marco for a right footer.
Marco, the only goal scorer of the evening for the Empire Strykers, his 2nd goal of the season. Charlie Gonzalez collects his 6th point of the year. And look, the San Diego looks like a completely different team with the addition of Morales back into the lineup. They look a lot more deadly offensively.
Morales and Leo made a huge difference, along with Pereira. Pereira didn't play last game against Milwaukee, but you know, they're just being far more clinical, far more surgical. They have not made the uncharacteristic mistakes in the back. You know, the goal, you know, you could argue that Chris Toth made a little mistake on, you know, playing that high ball off the wall and the clearance. But at the end of the day, the previous 2 games for San Diego, they've made some very uncharacteristic mistakes that caused them goals, and they've limited those tonight. They're playing to feet more effectively at the target. Like I said earlier, they're catching it above the yellow line, forcing, you know, the defenders to step higher, again, creating that space in behind. I mean, these are just nitpicky things. It's been a spectacular game. You know, there again, just kind of the reload, not forcing things, keeping it safe, keeping it simple. See if Charlie does his little roll hit. There it is.
Looking to get by Alami. Squeezes it through into Morales. And yeah, obviously Pereira didn't play in the last game for San Diego. Look, the biggest omission obviously is Christian Gutierrez. Golden Gutierrez, not a part of this season due to the visa issue, something that's been plaguing this league for so long. So many talented players not having the ability to feature because of those P1 visa issues. But you bring back Morales, you bring in Pereira. Leo de Oliveira, obviously a huge component and a key cog to the success that San Diego has had. They absolutely look like a different team tonight versus their first 2 games. Empire have been playing them well, but San Diego seems to find some answers. Pereira fires it through, and he does it. The Iberian Brick House puts San Diego up by a score of 4-1. Pereira gets his first goal as a member of the San Diego Sockers this season.
That was a tough one for Brian. But, you know, you got Nick Pereira coming at you. That's a tough task when he's isolated. Good finish, very composed. Takes the ball down. Not sure on the technique, but brings the ball down.
And just look at the composure.
Yep. Just so calm. Just, you know, again, just very technical. I mean, that's why he is who he is and has done what he's done. He's not there. But again, who is it that played him? Leo, right? Leo's vision has made a difference. along with Morales' feet. Speaking of which, Charlie coming through again.
San Diego on the attack to Taylor Walter Bond, finding his third goal of the season. It's been all San Diego here in this fourth quarter. The goals keep coming in for the boys from Oceanside.
Indeed, Walter Bond just doing the work. I spoke of it early. You know, he's putting in the yeoman's work. He's getting the awards and the stats. It's unfortunate for Brian, but he's kind of been hung out to dry here.
What a pass from Gonzalez into Walter Bond. Walter Bond with 3 goals this season. San Diego absolutely shutting down the naysayers as people were thinking the Sockers were done. Perhaps the veteran lineup that they have, not necessarily of this season, capable of putting dubs on the board, but 5-1 right now against a young and excited Empire Strykers team in their home opener. Well, that's been the craziness of this season already.
It's just the focus of the veteran group. You know, you saw in that goal, you know, in footy, all we talk about are direct lines. And you saw with Charlie, he played that direct line, breaking the 2 defenders. But then Taylor Walter Bond's run to the goal, opening his hips, created the direct line to the goal to score. So they're just making the proper runs and receiving the proper passes. You know, we saw that on Pereira's goal. It was, you know, Leo was great vision, didn't play him the ball that's usual from Leo. But Nick, being who he is, calmly takes the ball. One of the things we say to the young players, if it's not in rhythm, it's not on. And what we've seen from the Sockers tonight is that they're making sure that their chances are in rhythm. They're not forcing things. They're on cycle. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to the basic fundamentals and execution that we're seeing here. It's you know, unfortunate for the Strikers. They played a great 3 quarters plus. But just the fundamentals are just coming through, and then just the resilience of the Sockers. And they played with some pride tonight. You know, there's some spirit. There's some spirit to them. And you can always see with a team where they're at mentally by how much they defend, especially the forwards. Especially the forwards, and we saw that tonight, and that just sets the table and the standard for the team.
Now, for those that are tuning into the sport for the first time, yes, 5-1 seems like a big score line, a big deficit. But 5-1 in indoor, not a lot, as Justin Stinson almost threaded it through. We've been here on the comms with a team coming into the fourth quarter up 7-3 and still losing. So still very much within the Strikers' grasp, but they absolutely have to find a way to comb through San Diego's defense, because San Diego came out to play, out shooting the Strikers 25-15. Diaz hits it, and a shot just clickety-clanks by Ant Powell. That would have been huge for Empire to shift the momentum in the direction of the boys wearing purple and black. And by the way, for you long-term San Diego fans, when I mentioned the boys from Oceanside, I know some of you probably moaned and groaned. I know where y'all are from. I get it. Just had to be clear. And I do apologize if that offends, but Oceanside's where y'all are at. Powell's shot, and he fires it. Bottom right corner from turf to twine. Anthony Powell inserts his name for the first time into the Strikers score sheet, and tonight drawing into that soccer scoreline, 5-2.
We just saw a tactical change. You asked what they were talking about in the huddle. This is probably it, hitting the ball from distance a little more. We've seen the chances here, and I said it earlier, if it's not in rhythm, look at his feet. Whoop, 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 bang, hit, step, goal.
Near post, getting by one of the MASL defenders of the year in that of Drew Ruggles. Stick around, folks. It's not San Diego's game yet. More to come here with 7:54 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's Open House. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness Center, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those.
Welcome back to Toyota Arena, folks. 7:44 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Anthony Powell of the Empire Strykers just registered his first goal as a member of the Empire, his 35th career goal. And the Strykers managed to claw one back, down by 3 here with just 7 minutes and change remaining. And Artie, you and I were talking about this during the break, during the media timeout. Still very much within the Strykers' grasps, but they're going to have to find their opportunities, and they're going to have to be very clinical with the chances they have.
100%. See, like, you've got to remember, and the thing with the Strykers is, you know, when you take chances that aren't in rhythm, they're simply giveaways. So, as you know, as they organize, I thought they started hitting the ball from distance, but they had lines to shoot. Okay, these last 2 attempts were right into the defenders. Again, they didn't have a direct line for the ball to fly. As a result, it creates a counter situation, but they were sitting the 2. So I think if they just continue to find those lines as they did on the goal and create the isolations, they can get back into this very quickly.
Strykers have Brandon Gomez in between the sticks. Look at Chavez creating some space.
There's
Dummies from Perez. Another opportunity and another goal by the Empire. Munir Olami, the Moroccan international. Upper corner where Uncle Franz keeps the good stops. Strykers are within 2.
If it's not in rhythm, it's not on. I just said they got to create the isolations. One of the big things for Obasi and the Strykers is to create these isolations and go 1v1 to create the imbalances. And you just see it easily there. Takes him on 1v1. Here it is. A little dip. Use the wall. There it is. The direct line between the 2 defenders, the dummy. Again, hips forward, in rhythm, goal. That's what they're paid to do, and that's what they got done. So, again, just stay focused. Talked about it with the Sockers, the fundamentals. You know, here's the thing. I tell my teams this all the time, Philly. It doesn't matter if you're on the right track, where San Diego was on the right track. If you slow down or stop, eventually you're going to get run over. And that's what the Strykers are hoping to continue to do. Soccer's kind of downshifted. You can't downshift in this game at 9 minutes to play.
And some of y'all are thinking, look, upper corner is normally where Uncle Franz keeps the good schnapps. Alami's shot kind of went in middle shelf. But do you think Uncle Franz doesn't keep schnapps on that middle shelf as well? That was a goal worthy of a shout out to my Uncle Franz down in Augsburg, Germany. 5-3, and just like that, really quickly, Strykers have gotten themselves back in this game. Under 7 minutes here. I don't know whether it's a timeout, immediate timeout, regardless. 6:57 as we're looking at the screen. We see Stryker, the mountain lion, I guess mountain fox this season, but 5-3, very, very capable of Empire to come back into this game. You'd have to wonder what Phil Salvaggio is telling to his team right now. With the veteran lineup that he has, the Empire has a lot of younger players, and don't want to say age is anything. Obviously, you and I are, well, we've been around since Burger King was a prince. But sometimes when you're a little older, fatigue does happen to be a factor. And fatigue does make cowards out of even the best of players. So Strykers have a much more youthful lineup than San Diego does. But San Diego obviously has a lot of veteran leadership that is very cerebral and very intelligent, perhaps looking to stifle that young, upcoming, and uppity Empire attack.
Well, indoor soccer, you've got to find that delicate balance. And when you get this lead, you've got to make sure that you manage the clock, because the clock is now at your opponent. But having said that, if you sit back too far and you allow isolations and you break down, 2 quick goals and the game is completely changed again. So you've got to restart it and get back on it. So that's going to be the question. As we said in the pregame, you know, the Strykers are built to run. Are they going to run the rest of the 6:39 left here? Or are the Sockers going to get back on, keep the ball? So start a little press here.
Soma with his touch, hangs on to it. Almost ran into a Morales-Pereira sandwich. Palmer into that corner. He's got Alami and Stinson wide open. Cardenas, one of the best defenders. Kick saved by Toth, denying Alami. Alami, who was one of the candidates for newcomers of the year in the league. That award, of course, went to Chad Porch of the Baltimore Blast. Porch continues his ascent up the ladder of success in the Major Arena Soccer League. Stinson to Palmer. Palmer's shot just ding-dongs off of the plexi. Palmer and Mendez. That's going to be a battle that Palmer's going to win 10 out of 10 times. Has a much bigger size than Mendez does.
Very savvy veteran.
But Mendez has the heart of a lion.
Very angry lion sometimes.
Sometimes that's what gets the job done. Polo, Hernandez, into Reyes. Good crowd here in Toyota Arena. Don't have the numbers yet, but I would venture to guess we're in the 5s, potentially 6 of thousands. This is an arena that seats around 10, so sometimes doesn't seem as if there's that many people in the building, but when you're 10,000 and there's about 6,000 in, it does look like there's some empty seats, but one of the better crowds we've seen here for a home opener for the Empire. And these fans are looking for something to be proud about here in the Inland Empire, as the Strykers are the only pro major team in the Inland Empire. Hernandez, into Reyes, under 5 to go here in the fourth quarter. Reyes, over to Hernandez. Polo, playing Marco. Polo with San Diego's defense. And speaking of Marco, there's Fabian, Strykers talisman, going into Reyes. Empire has Gomez in as Orozco is on the bench.
San Diego's extended a little further.
Alami looking for a handball from Oliveira. That one bounces just narrowly as Gomez rolls it back in to Reyes. There was a gasp here in this building as that one was oh so close to being the 6th San Diego goal. Fabian has it.
What a ball from Brandon Gonzalez. These goalkeepers for the Strykers can play with their feet. Well, I'll tell you what.
What ball movement by Somo. Somo's been very impressive here in his really his first full game for Empire. Polo over to his UCR teammate Perez. Fabian. 3:26 remaining. The Strykers trying to spread San Diego's defense, looking to pry it open like a stubborn can of tuna fish. Alami tried to find Somo. De Oliveira's gonna have it. Que golazo, Leo De Oliveira, his second goal of the game. Found La Puerta wide open. And that's one of those collapses in defense that San Diego took advantage of, doubling up on the scoreboard. Leo De Oliveira, second goal of the game, his brace.
The key thing here is that look at the composure. Stays in rhythm. If it's not in rhythm, it's not on. And you just see a lot of times when teams win the ball and Strykers have played their goalkeeper high, they take that ill-advised shot too early, and all it is a long turnover. Leo took his time, executed technically. Strykers now got to press the table a little bit here.
What a goal by Leo De Oliveira. I mean, you said it, his composure. And I mean, what a nice curl too. From the other angle that we saw it, he hit it just properly. It took 2 bounces from 3/4 length of the turf. And it goes from turf to twine. 6-3 the score. San Diego has been averaging right around 4 goals a game, have surpassed their season average at 6, doubling up on the Strykers' lead. Strykers started pulling back momentum. Leo De Oliveira silencing this crowd here at Toyota Arena.
You know, we tell young players all the time, you know, don't focus on scoring, just focus on the technique. And you've seen the Sockers do that tonight. You saw that example from Leo Oliveira. He took the ball, focused on the technique, took the emotion of the crowd and the moment away, and just does what he's been doing for his entire life, playing footy.
His 132nd career goal. What a career he's had. 11 years in the Major Arena Soccer League. Chavez sandwiched in between Cardenas. There we see him pushing. I believe that's, well, I couldn't tell because the United Chiropractic Health Center banner came on. And shout out to Dr. Fantasia. Dr. Fantasia has helped me to walk a little better than I had been walking prior to my visits to him. Check out drfantasia.com.
Did he give you the same shoes?
Well, I'm not wearing any shoes right now, if that's an indicator of anything. I bought this brand new pair of Jordans. I gotta tell you, they cut up the back of my heels. Not very nice. 90 seconds remaining here in this ball game, a game that's been, for the most part in the second half, defined by San Diego's composure and ability to find its way past Empire's defense.
And the game became less chippy. They kind of elevated from there.
Cooler heads did prevail. And when those cooler heads prevail for San Diego, they're showing you right here, right now, why they are still one of the most dangerous teams in this league. With the results that we've seen thus far in the first few games of the season, it's still really anybody's year. We've seen great performances by Baltimore, Milwaukee, Kansas City, Empire, obviously now San Diego. With there being only 8 teams this season, just harkens back to that 2021 year where there was just so much talent in a few teams. And we saw bona fide all-star teams across the entirety of the league.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee's kind of thrown down the gauntlet as far as where they're at. Late's done a great job getting the season started.
Absolutely. Losing Jules was what I thought a death knell for Milwaukee, but Late is an incredible player. Obviously a coaching acumen and a strong start of the season from the Milwaukee Wave.
I mean, he was coaching when he was on the floor. I mean, he was out there running things, you know, as a player. I mean, you'd love to have those players that kind of help and guide, and now he's just doing it without pulling a shift, you know, from the bench, and he's doing a great job. I was very impressed with the way they played against San Diego.
I mean, you want to talk about really impressed? I mean, talk about a response from San Diego. A lot of the experts, a lot of people in the chats saying, oh, this might be it. The Soccer's dynasty, done. I never thought that. I mean, the Soccer's dynasty is obviously one that has consistently been one of the tops in this league. And not to take away from Empire's performance. Obviously, Empire's still a team to be reckoned with. But San Diego, despite starting the season with 2 losses, winning in Toyota Arena, incredible. The last time the Strykers managed to get a dub against their SoCal rivals was back February 2023, a 10-4 score. It looks like that's going to be continuing to extend here in this I-15 collision.
Well, I think, you know, the big thing for me coming in, it was a statement game. You know, if the Strykers came in and won again consecutive victories, then that's a statement on their part. If the Sockers were to win, the statement is over. It's just the Sockers. Having said that, I think the way they played the final 8 minutes of the fourth quarter says, yeah, the Sockers, but the way they played was at a very high level of execution. So it's like you said, there's just all-stars everywhere. I mean, for goodness sakes, they've got so many specialists. You've got Nick Pereira on the bench on set pieces.
Which is wild. Mansoret shoots it. Ding dong, ring-a-ling-a-lings it.
You know, this is why a lot of times coaches have a significant bar tab.
Speaking of bar tab, if you're in the area, make sure you join us at the Ontario Airport Hotel at Crossbar, as that attempt by Brandon Gomez is going to be the final attempt of the matchup. And your San Diego Sockers, of course I'm talking to everybody in that part of Southern California, are victorious tonight. Their first win of the season against the rivals, the Empire Strykers. 6-3. Are the Sockers back, Artie?
It's too early to say that they're back, but I'll tell you what, they made a statement tonight, right? And again, in an odd way, it was a respectful statement to the Strykers, because when you see your forwards defending the way these veteran forwards defended tonight, for me, that's a sign that Salvaggio says, hey, we got to go after these guys. We can't take these guys for granted. We got to show them that we're still the top dog. And you know, when you're having those guys on the top end defend like that, it just drives the train. You know, and then on the back end of it, you got Toth who's making the saves. Everybody just kind of follows the load. You know, it's just any level of football. that target player really sets the tone for the game and drives the train as far as how hard guys work. If the target players working their butts off, guess how motivated those defenders and midfielders are, the second defenders, to do their job. It just blends into it. It was very impressive. I've not seen that level of defending from the Sockers in a while, and so it's a great example of just their will, their desire, and what they wanted to do tonight as far as making a statement.
All right, folks, we're standing by as Amanda the Panda Philemon is set to interview Nick Pereira of the San Diego Sockers. Nick Pereira had himself a heck of a game. Take it away, Panda.
Hey guys, I'm here with San Diego Sockers, Nick Pereira. How important was tonight's win, considering you guys started this season already in the hole 0-2?
Yeah, huge. I mean, I think there were moments of the game that were not the prettiest, right? But I think it was about grinding out a win. And I think that we had certainly a bone to pick about the way we started the year. So the first win's important.
Yeah, now, adding new pieces to a team is it's always a hard thing, especially with chemistry. That's a big part of it. How has it been integrating with a new team coming from Tacoma?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's a different game, right? I mean, they play it a certain way, and they're very good at the way they play it. And I'm trying to just figure out where I can be most effective and how I can help the team the most. And I think that was what I was trying to do tonight, find the pass and get myself back post on the ones that I could maybe be dangerous.
All right, physicality is always high in these games. How do you feel that this all measured up as far as that? I thought it was actually pretty tame as far as these rivalry matches go, but it was still an exciting match.
Yeah, a lot of physicality, I think, is to be expected. And to be honest, the game that we're playing, the indoor game's gotten faster and more physical. Just the speed of the players, the level of the players, so it's to be expected. But again, I think that we play against each other how many times a year, so there's always going to be an extra little chip on our shoulders. But I think it was overall, no injuries, no nothing. So I think at the end of the day, it's not too bad.
You get the win all around. Congrats on your guys' first win of the season, and good luck to you guys going forward.
Thank you. We'll see you again in a month or 2 weeks?
Right, the Sockers and the Strykers square off against one another a lot of times. This is only chapter 2 of the SoCal showdown between both sides, and already Nick Pereira had himself a great game, a goal and an assist. Taylor Walter Bond scored himself a goal. Charlie Gonzalez obviously inserted his name in the lineup, and you bring in Leo de Oliveira. Without Leo, without Nick, they struggled in their last game. You bring those two back in the lineup, and Luis Morales, who hadn't featured for the Sockers in the first 2 games of the year. Look, this is a completely different squad, and they look really good tonight against a Empire Strykers team that came out of the gates hot, looking to win in front of their home crowd in the season opener.
They looked very good tonight. Very, very well executed moments. I think the biggest thing is their set pieces. They were dangerous tonight. They were efficient. The chances they had were of high quality, which is a different, a change from the previous outing. So, they're on track. They're continuing. Nick said it. You've got some guys that are new and trying to figure into the mix. So, they're just going to continue to grind. But like I said earlier, I think the statement of the work rate defensively, I think is something that the Strykers can kind of take away as a lesson that, at the end of the day, it comes down to execution and work rate. And when everybody across the board is working, then the results are going to come. So it's a young team for the Strykers. They've got a lot to grow with. There were some very good moments technically for them. Brian Orozco again had an outstanding game. Unfortunately, in this game we saw it. There was a trend where the Sockers came back and scored 4, and then Strykers come and they score 2, and it's just the way that it swings. The way the pendulum swings in indoor soccer. So, a lot of pluses and minuses. Like I said in the first quarter, man, this game tonight, you're saying this is still, third and second game of the season. Holy Toledo. It's only going to get better when these guys start to, they haven't even come together yet, right? I mean, both teams have new players that they're still trying to integrate. And at this level of entertainment, this level of commitment and execution, going to be a season.
Definitely going to be a season. The Strykers, Anthony Powell, a bright spot for the Strykers, assist on Marco Fabian's goal, managed to find a goal himself. Coming in from the Dallas Sidekicks, Anthony Powell absolutely had himself a tremendous game. Obviously, Orozco had himself a heck of a game too, but we've got a lot more to talk about here. We're going to step aside for a break, clear our throats, our voices, grab a sip of water, and stick around for the wrap-up show. Your final score here is San Diego 6, Empire 3.
Hello, Empire Nation. I am Martina Sellers, the CEO of Marcel Wellness, and I am so excited to announce this amazing partnership with the Empire Strykers on Score a Lunch with a Striker.
So the students can qualify. We have 3 pillars. So for their academics, their character, and their perseverance. All right, kids, so work hard so that you can get those entries in. Maybe you'll get to meet Coach Al.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. I hope to see you guys at the game.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.